Yeah, so evidently we could broadcast for up to 8 hours. So welcome to an 8-hour episode of the show, everybody.
Y'all have fun watching me sleep.
Right.
There's probably a market for that. There's probably, well,
I thought anybody wants to watch me sleep.
right, no, there's a market for young nubile females probably sleeping, sleeping on the bed or something, or males, but young and nubile being kind of the, not that you're not, Brian, in some people's eyes. Oh yeah, it's the Nerd Extravaganza podcast, and I think we should probably get this episode going properly. So why don't we do that? And here we go, everybody. 3, 2, 1. Hello, brave heroes, and welcome to episode 230 of the Nerd Extravaganza podcast, a heroic podcast whose past is shrouded in mystery. I'm Dragon Knight Tom.
I'm Avatar Brian.
And I'm from Parts Unknown Cam. Hailing from Parts Unknown.
And as we kick off this mysterious hero-themed episode, we remind our listeners that they're all heroes in our book, but we would consider them superheroes if they were to rank and review us on iTunes. And with that, is it a plug or is it an ask? I think it's more of an ask. With that humble request out of the way, let's get on with the show with our, actually kind of reformatted weekly, geekly weekly update. It's only a slight revision to the format, and I will go first for the sake of demonstration. What I thought was during our updates, we could marry our high-minded nerdiness and deep dives into esoterra with our love of fun and geeky pursuits. So what I thought was, as an addendum to our the weekly geekly updates, we could recommend something for people to do, what to play, what to read, what to watch, that kind of thing, that kind of pertains at least tangentially to the episode. So we leave that open to interpretation, which will surely lead to some funny stuff, knowing us. So I'll go first. As I said, let's see. This week I have been just kind of in a holding pattern with games. Still playing some Kingdoms of Amalur, however you pronounce that. The Reckoning. That game, for being quite a few years old, is pretty good, man. I'm really having a good time with that. And even downloaded the DLC. I know, Brian, that probably you don't hold with that sort of thing, but I like the game so much. I downloaded the DLC packs and the weapon packs and all that stuff.
It's been a while since I played. Maybe I could just start over and just pretend I hadn't played it before.
Yeah, there you go. You could, since I know you were looking for something to play, you could just experience it again for the very first time. That was a punchline for something. Maybe Star Wars. Anyway, apart from that, doing a little Dragon Quest VII, which will serve as my example in a moment. It's a great game for the 3DS. And let's see, apart from that, I mean, that's pretty much it. Just doing a little, downloaded some expensive software to tell me what I already knew, which is that my Mac's hard drive has some inconsistencies on it, which are causing that weird behavior to crop up every once in a while. So I'm thinking it might be a new computer time pretty soon. So I've been doing some half-hearted browsing around, and computers are expensive still. I really don't want to pay.
You can build your own.
Could do. Probably should do. That way I could also build a gaming rig, right?
And I know some people know, but a lot of people just think it's absolutely impossible. You can build a Macintosh too. So I know you use Apple. You can just buy Snow Leopard or Snow Fairy or whatever OS they're on and install it on actual hardware. You don't have to buy an Apple to have an Apple.
Yeah. They call it a Hackintosh or something, basically, where you don't buy their hardware set. And I've seen those actually. When I was taking a programming class in school years ago, a couple of people had them. They worked fine.
And they're 1/10 the price.
Yeah, you don't pay that Apple tax. But you don't look cool, Brian, when you're writing your great American novel at a coffee shop.
This is true.
Anyway, that's pretty much it for me. Just a little bit of gaming and little bit of computer troubleshooting, and to add my suggestion for what to do related to the topic, I'll do a what to play. I recommend that you play Dragon Quest VII, if for no other reason than, at least so far, my hero's two parents, who he actually lives with, are not dead. That's unusual. Usually in a RPG, especially a traditional JRPG, his parents are gone, or he doesn't have parents, or that kind of thing. They're still letting him wander the earth at 16 and fight monsters, which is makes me question their parenting style. But so far so good. They're still alive, and so that's my what to play. Dragon Quest VII, Fragments of the Forgotten Past.
Sweet.
Yeah. And so over to you, Brian. What have you been up to?
Wrapped up I forget what it's called. It's a Diamondback for the Diamond Brigade, or Black Diamond Brigade, or something like that, in the Relic Knights game. So painting a model.
Cool.
Pretty happy with it. Nice big model, gave me a lot of room to try new stuff out on. And I did learn that I can't blend, so that's something I need to practice. But not too bad overall. Just pretend he's got an ice axe instead of a laser sword.
I commend you for really being able to do anything presentable, as you know. So
I am actually going to give you a little bit of a teasing. This is the model I started after you were like, yeah, I should pick up the paints. So
we're going to get in on that, and I think we probably need to work out a way to show off our work. Work out a way to show off our work somehow via video or something. So like Brian the master, Tom the learner, and then we'll compare and contrast.
Oh my God.
I mean, at least compared it relatively, you're a master. Anything else? What's up? What else?
I've kind of broken down on the cartoon, The Clone Wars.
Oh yeah,
I have been looking into that, and I mean, you pretty much either have to steal it or subscribe to Netflix. Like, it's not really feasible to purchase it anywhere. Like, there's, I think, 5 disc sets, and they're like $80 each because I guess they're sold out and everything. And so Disney has a streaming service, but I guess that wasn't always Disney, so they don't have the whole series.
Oh,
because it was Cartoon Network first, right?
Yeah, that's who originally had it. Yeah.
So I guess they didn't actually pick up the rights to stream those or whatever.
Oh.
So you can't get it all in one place. So Netflix has been looking more and more attractive to me. I might have to just bite that bullet. I mean, it's what, like $10 now, $9.99 a month.
Yeah, something like that. That's right. That's where I watched the whole series, actually.
Probably fretting it more than I need to. Did you watch it in like sequence, or did you watch it the canonical way?
I just watched it beginning to end, season by season. So.
I was reading this and doing research. There is a proper viewing path, and you have to start in like episode in season 4 and watch a few episodes, and then go back and then you watch the movie, and then you start at episode 1, and like it's honestly intimidating. Like,
I did none of that, and so for my arc was like, God, this is terrible, to like, hey, this got pretty good by the end. So
apparently, like, I think you watched the better stuff, because they did some flashback episodes, right? Like later in the series.
Yeah.
So once it was already good, they went back in time. So if you watch that first, the crappy early episodes are supposed to be a lot more palatable.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe take that approach. On balance, I think the series is good. It's got some real stinker episodes, but I did enjoy it. At the end, like, I was like, man, that turned out really good in the end. So glad you're taking that plunge, or thinking about it.
And for the what to watch, Rebels just started Saturday night, and I mean, I know it's Saturday night and people are going to be out on dates or whatever. Just DVR it. Season 3 of Rebels was killer. Absolutely killer. And they've got the hero, like, teetering on the dark side, the villain being, like, just absolutely cutthroat, ruthless. It just started, so you can pick it up. And, of course, the hero's parents are dead, so...
Fits right in.
Yep.
Yeah, Star Wars is a really big offender, isn't it? Of like no parents.
Yeah, especially main characters. Anakin, Ezra, Luke, Rey.
Yeah. Han Solo, Chewie. I mean, for all we know, none of them have parents.
Yeah.
Lando probably comes from like an awesome family. Oh, our Lando, he's such an upstanding, honest guy.
You know, I really wish, and it's completely silly. I know it's a bad wish, but it'd be fun. Have you ever seen the Lego Star Wars?
Yeah.
The old Lego Star Wars had Lando and like Papa Calrissian flying around in the like Disco Falcon before he lost it. That is my headcanon. I love that scenario.
That's great. Well, yeah. Let's keep that then as our official Nerd Extravaganza canon. Like he has a great relationship with his still living parents. Anything else?
That's it.
Hey, did you figure out a game to play? By the way, or are you still searching? Because I have a suggestion.
Still searching.
Okay.
Besides Dragon Quest.
Besides Dragon Quest, yeah. Well, I would highly recommend that one. They are doing Dragon Quest Builders for the PS4, which I played at PAX. That's kind of cool. Kind of like a Minecraft, I'm told, which I don't know anything about, but in the Dragon Quest universe, it was actually really fun to play. So that's one suggestion. But the thing I was actually going to suggest is a game I've suggested a few times. I don't know if you ever got it. Did you ever get Spec Ops: The Line?
No, I never did. I absolutely should play that. I never have somehow.
Yeah,
that's another one that's like $7.50 now, isn't it? Because it's so old.
Yeah, it's dirt cheap. It was worth it at full price. Definitely worth it at a reduced price. It's like a really, really good game. Not just mechanically. Like the story is awesome. So I think you'll like that. So that's my suggestion. Dragon Quest Builders would be a second, but do Spec Ops: The Line right now. You'll love that game.
It's a good idea.
Cool. Awesome. All right, done a little good here today. So Cam, over to you. You need some suggestions, or you just want to report what you've been up to?
I think I'm good. Playing games at the Adventure Game Store, of course. We had played some fun, some pretty cool things. A lot of Secret Hitler being played at the Adventure Game Store.
Is that a political dig at people, or is that a game?
No, it's a game. It's the. I think one or some of the people that did Cards Against Humanity came out with this social deduction type. It's like Avalon, if you've ever played Avalon, Resistance, those kind of games. Yep. Sort of like that, but it's basically Secret Hitler. You've got the fascists and you've got the liberals, and you're trying to figure out, who the fascists are and which one specifically is Hitler. And obviously, if you can do that, the liberals win. If not, then the fascists win. It's interesting, not my cup of tea, but I'd prefer. I like Avalon. I'd play Avalon over that, but it's the new hotness, I guess. So everyone's been playing that. Also been playing a lot of that Archer Love Letter, which is really fun. Love Letter, great game, and then they threw this Archer theme on it with this really cool mechanic. Brian, I think you played with us a little bit.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty cool. So that's been doing some tabletop, playing some tabletop games with my companion. She's really been getting into the DC deck builder.
Nice.
Stuff. So that's good for me. Oh, okay. So you remember? I'm Tom. I think you would even remember too. Back when Steve, our buddy Steve, used to come around, and he was the one that essentially introduced me to DC deck building.
Yeah. Yep.
And he has this really cool playmat. It's a playmat for the original first, DC deck builder. And that playmat, for whatever reason, has never been reprinted. So it's like impossible to get. You cannot find it. And even on eBay, you can't find it, right? Even at like ridiculous inflated prices. Pretty much like once a month, I'll check on eBay and try to find it. they have ones for all the other ones, for Heroes Unite, for Forever Evil, for all those. They're easily, you can get them for like $15-20, no big deal. Actually, I got a couple from the Adventure Game Store. So Steve texted me at like 3 a.m, I think, like 2 weeks ago, and he's like, "Dude, someone just posted a DC Deck Builder playmat on eBay. Check it out." So I go on there, and some store, like, I don't know, way out somewhere in Middle America, has 6 of them, brand new, 6. Right?
Wow.
But they're selling them for like $75. So I was like, no chance that I'm paying $75 for this playmat. I mean, I really want it. I'd love to have it. It makes me itch that I don't have it. You know what I mean? But I am not going to pay $75. So I put it on my watch list, and then like a week or two goes by, and then he texts me again. He's like, "Dude, the guy just dropped the price." So I go on there, and it's like they're like $54, but the guys sold. Well, it says on there that there's only 3 left because there was 6 originally. So
Okay.
I'm like, did he sell 3 at 75? I don't know that he would have. I don't know that he would have dropped the price if he was selling them at 75 each. So I don't know. Plus, I was already kind of like skeptical because where do you just get 6 out of nowhere? You know what I mean? It's the way like production is these days. It's very easy to make playmats. Someone could just grab the screenshot of what it looks like off of the internet and just make a playmat. It's not that hard.
Right.
So that was the other reason why I was going to pay $75, because I could just do that myself if I was really that burned up about it. So I guess some other guy in California must have saw that this guy was like selling these for such a high price. So he put his online on eBay like a week later, and eBay, being like the monster that they are, knew that I was looking for that. So they sent me an email and said, "Hey, someone else is selling one of these." So it was like 50. The guy put it on for, I guess the other guy had him for 55. So this guy put his on for $50, right? To try to undercut.
Nice.
Right? So, but the other guy just had it like buy it now or that's it. This guy had $50 or best offer. So I just threw out a low ball bid of like $25, right? I just threw it out there and I just let it sit. And the guy didn't respond to me for like, a couple days. Then finally he responds back to me and he's like, "All right, I'll sell it to you for 40. And I was like, "Nah, I don't think I want to spend 40. How about 30? And then he's like, "No, I can't do 30. So we ended up settling on like $35, right? Which is still $10-15 more than I want to pay. But hey, I mean, it's what I want, right? So I'll take it. And it was free shipping, so whatever, So bottom line, long story long. I finally got my DC deck building playmat headed my way in the mail.
Nice.
So I'm excited about that. So that was my big nerd news of the week. We do a based on it's on the pattern model basically, but we've dressed it up as a Game of Thrones type thing. So we do
Nice.
that. Yeah, we do that every 2 weeks at my house here. About 5 or 6 of us get together. It's pretty fun. Tim is actually our buddy. Tim is the DM. So it's pretty cool. He comes up with some good scenarios. We fought some werewolves this past week, and we got a bunch of loot. Everyone got a magic item. I got a flaming longsword, which is amazing. Well, I'd already had it. I was the only one that had a magic item, and then we got there's 6 of us, and we ended up getting 5 magic items in the loot that we found. So everyone else got a magic item. So basically now we're all even. And I'm the paladin, so I can't argue or try to take take the magic items from anyone else. So I had to just sort of sit back and take it.
You could take them in the name of your deity, though. Like this is in service to the Lord of Light or whoever you worship.
Yes, she is. I do worship the Lord of Light. She is it's actually my companion. She's like she's like our cleric, but she's like the priestess of the Lord of Light, and I basically have pledged to serve her or whatever.
There you go, man.
But she ended up getting a FOM belt, freedom of movement, which is pretty sweet. So she's happy about that. And I finally got back into the Kickstarter game. I backed a game called No Honor Among Thieves. And it's pretty cool. It's like a heist type betrayal sort of like card game. It's one of these Kickstarters that it just fits right into the game. Fits right into my like of games that I like to play. Plus, the art is awesome. It's like totally my art style. On top of that, it's one of these like middling type things. It's not like a just guy in his basement, I don't think, but it's not, cool mini or not either. It's, the guy wanted to raise like 30 grand. I think he raised like 46,000. So it's an indie gamer. I'm happy to support an indie gamer. Hey, he had a ton of like Kickstarter exclusives. So it was right up my alley. So I ended up backing it. It was like $30-$40, no big deal.
See,
so
it feels like a traditional crowdsourcing, crowdfunding thing where you're like helping an entrepreneur and
yeah, it seems like he's a total just, independent or whatever. It's an independent company, and they're called Carpe Omni Games, like instead of like Carpe Diem, Carpe Omni. I don't know what that means. C's, I don't know what's Omni in Latin.
It's the orangutan. I have no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea either. But yeah, so I was happy to support that and looking forward to getting that. They have it's not coming till like next year in like October 2017 or something, but still no big deal. And then yeah, that's it. That's been my week. And then I guess as my thing to watch, I would say I'm gonna go. I know I'm a little behind the times now, but I just started watching Daredevil 2, the second season.
Oh, how is that?
It's pretty good so far, and I've always loved Daredevil. Murdoch has always been like one of my favorite characters, and I like that he had to like grow up on the mean streets of Hell's Kitchen, and his dad, his dad was like a boxer battling Jack Murdoch, who taught him how to fight. And grow up on the mean streets or whatever, and with only his fists to help him out. So, and he was abandoned by his mother. So I think that, and he's a lawyer, which
oh yeah,
so I always sort of liked him. So I would say if you haven't yet, check out Daredevil on Netflix.
Troubled past, troubled occupation as a lawyer.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
It's perfect.
Exactly. Blind with radioactive senses. Like, got hit with some radioactive spillage and got crazy senses.
Blind like the Lady Justice he serves.
Exactly. You want to talk about tropes, right?
Awesome. That was a great update, and this was a great round of updates. Well done, everybody. Play the applause track.
Woo.
Yay! That was our applause track. Changes every week. And with those updates out of the way, only one thing can be next. And that one thing, well, it won't be news to anybody who's been listening for a while. God. Cam, take it away. It is news stravaganza time.
Well, let's see here. So we talked about this before. You remember how we talked about that story where supposedly scientists have found this like star or some sort of heavenly body that's out in the cosmos that they are basically saying there's no way that it is not like man-made, or not man-made, but like artificial, basically. Do you remember me bringing that story
Dyson
up?
sphere, right?
Yeah, the Dyson sphere story, exactly. So they're saying that the scientists say that from everything that they have like can tell, it's a Dyson sphere, and it can't have occurred naturally in nature or whatever. So much so that they went and they talked to SETI, these scientists, and now SETI, help me out, Brian. You probably know whatever it's
search for extraterrestrial,
right? Exactly. They are now basically tasked full time to check this anomaly out, basically.
Really?
And see what the hell it is. Then they find out that not only not only does this happen, but then they find out that the Russians have known about this for like 3 years, and they just never told anybody about it. They're just like, fuck it, we're just gonna keep it quiet. I mean, I don't know, my Russian accent's terrible, but we keep to ourselves. So I don't know what I mean. It seems like
well,
there might be something out there.
The Russians obviously, Cam, made first contact, and now I'll try my bad Russian accent. We have arch rival, evil dictators, America on planet. Need help. You know.
Yeah,
And
they're trying to cozy up to the alien overlords already.
yeah. Who hopefully are not free market capitalists. Otherwise, it's going to backfire on the.
Isn't this like the exact script of a comic? Didn't Harbinger 2, I think, just launched like 3 months ago, something like that. Russians return with like extraterrestrial backing.
Oh wow, that's that. Well, I hope not, Brian, because it's prophetic. We're gonna be ruled over by like by aliens who call us comrade and like make us march in parades.
Yeah,
wear stupid hats.
I mean, as long as it's like one of those mink hats, that's pretty.
But it's like Florida. I don't really want to wear a mink hat. It's so hot.
That's true.
Okay, so reputable scientists are like super sure that this is a Dyson sphere.
Yeah, and SETI, which is, I mean, as far as I know, pretty reputable. I mean, have been tasked. I mean, this is kind of old news. This is like happened like a few weeks ago, and I wanted to bring it up back then, but it just sort of got pushed to the wayside. But now, the real, I guess the thing that prompted me to bring it up today is that China yesterday, I believe yesterday, unleashed the largest radio telescope in the world.
Oh.
It is 500 meters across, and it's called the 500-meter Aperture Spherical Telescope.
It's on the ground already, right? So it's not going to crash?
To be something I think they need to put on this task and figure out what the hell's out there, you know?
Yeah, actually, it seems like the perfect instrument for the job. This is a ground-based instrument, or? Yeah,
it's roughly equal to 30 soccer fields. 200,000, about 2 million square meters.
Okay, so no chance of it like flaming to the ground in Iowa or something like their space station.
No, exactly. Yeah. This is like, it's like, looks like if you ever saw that movie Contact, that just big dish on the ground, basically.
Oh, now that I see Contact, when you mentioned SETI, I just imagined Jodie Foster running it.
Yeah. Exactly. And it's like way bigger than, I think there was this, there's one called the Arecibo scope that's like 305 meters across. So this one is like it's much bigger than that one. So we'll see what the Chinese can find out. Hopefully there's no like, Chino-Russian connection going on where they're helping each other out. They need to help us out.
I mean, that's kind of shitty to not share with your fellow humans the discovery of potentially something else.
Yeah. Well, and in conjunction with another story that I'd sort of seen as a blip that Hawking has basically come out and said, look.
Stop looking.
No. He said that there's no future for humans on this planet, basically.
Really?
Yeah. He's like, there is no future for humans here. The only future that human life has is based on space travel.
Hawking he's a real downer. I mean, the election hasn't even happened yet, and he's already pronouncing it the end. No, I think he's probably like pretty realistic. He's always like, yeah, we gotta get off the planet or we're dead. And then the other thing is, hopefully we never find alien life because they'll just like wipe the floor with us. Like, great.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of wrapping with our theme. We need to be the like lonely wanderers of the universe, basically, in Stephen Hawking's eyes.
Yeah.
That's the only way for us to survive on the mean streets of space, like Matt Murdock. But yeah, so let's see what the Chinese can come up with that big thing. Speaking of maybe Asian, I guess, the iPhone 7, which I told you guys about last week, which is hopefully going to be delivered to my home within the next week or two, is out. People are loving it. People are all excited. People are going crazy. I finally stepped into 2001 and got an iPad finally.
Nice.
So you guys remember, I guess a couple of years ago, or maybe even less than that, people were getting tricked into like recharging their phones by putting them into microwaves.
Yes.
And if they did some sort of update, it would be like waterproof. Like, do you remember those pranks?
These dumb pranks. Yeah.
So now some kid came out and he put this instructional video on YouTube that shows you how to drill the top of your iPhone so that you could get your phone jack back. He's basically like, yeah, no, the hole is still there. They just covered it with the outside of the plastic. So all you got to do is just drill a little hole, and then you could put your phone, your headphone jack directly in it. And so I guess apparently people are drilling into their iPhones.
Oh my God! Who takes a drill to their like $800?
Yeah,
disco? I mean, come on, people.
It's like
Someone who shouldn't have.
a secret hack to the
Exactly. Someone who shouldn't have it.
The guy's name is Taras Maximuk. Techrax is his TECHRAX is his handle on YouTube, and apparently he's got a ton of people destroying their new iPhones. I wonder if that's covered under the iCare plan.
They probably have like a special exclusion. Like if you actually followed any like homebrew modification tips on the internet, you void your warranty.
Ridiculous.
I mean, if I posted a thing like, "Hey, if your toaster doesn't make enough toast, here's how to add another slot," and just like you think they would fall for that?
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous what people will fall for. I mean, come on, seriously. Like, I mean, I guess I sort of would believe that. I mean, if you had to rate them, I would believe that one over the other two. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's semi plausible that they would just cover up the jack with like a piece of like the cover of the phone. You know what I mean? As opposed to, oh yeah, just put your phone in the microwave, or yeah, now some software update now makes it like syncable or whatever, like a waterproof.
The software update one is the most unbelievable. Like, I
mean, come on,
you can't change the physical properties of the phone. I don't know, the hidden phone jack. Headphone jack makes zero sense. It would cost them more money to like add the headphone jack just to cover it.
Yeah, it makes zero sense, but still, like, I mean, it's still, I guess,
remotely
semi-plausible compared to these other two, right?
Right. If you don't stop to think about anything,
yeah,
like much of the American electorate. Wow, I'm really political today.
Might as well, right? All right, so Are you guys gamblers at all? You guys do any gambling?
Nah.
Ever hit up the old Hard Rock Casino?
I get dragged there every time my dad comes to town to put money in machines and pull a lever over and over. Yeah.
Well, now, Tom, instead of just playing the regular slots, Atlantic City is debuting the first ever actual video game gambling machine.
Wait a minute.
It is a first-person shooter.
Okay.
Called Danger Arena.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know the ins and outs of it exactly, how you exactly win the money, but you can win money by just playing this first-person shooter.
Now that is what I'm talking about. That would make a casino fun for me if it was interactive and like, you know, even if like the longer I survive, the more like random draws I get. However they structure it, something where I'm doing something besides pressing a button like a friggin' zombie.
Yeah,
wow.
Pull it like, you know, just jerking off the slot machine. You know what I mean? Like pulling the bone all day.
It's not fun. Even when I win, like as soon as I get ahead, like if I have a $20 bill and I win 21, and I'm up to $21.50, I want to cash out and go home immediately. Like,
yeah. And then they screw you too, because like you got to get that stupid ticket, and then you got to go to the cage, and like you know, you got to walk by all these other machines that you can just put that ticket into to play, like.
And then like you're there with your dad, who for some reason enjoys this, so like you've been there 5 minutes and you're like ready to leave immediately, and he's like, yeah. And then you lose that money and then some, and.
That's when you go to the center bar and you just sit down, and at least you're spending too much on drinks, but at least you're getting a buzz, right?
Yeah, is that allowable? Can I just pay for drinks and hang out? I won't get the free drinks, but
yeah, you just go to the center bar, buy a drink, and that's it. You're good to go.
Or they could just put video games in, and then I would enjoy this.
Yeah, I mean that's a whole new market that they could tap in on.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the sad thing for us though is that, well, it's only going to be in Atlantic City to debut, and that they just want to see how it's going to do. Which, I mean, who goes to Atlantic City anymore? Right?
I was just going to say, well, it'll move when Atlantic City actually completely closes. It'll move somewhere else. So.
Yeah, you think they'd start doing it in Vegas, or I don't know, like whatever. But like it's only going to be in Caesars properties. So Caesars, Harrah's, Bally's, those are like their, I guess, the quote unquote Caesar properties. So we'll see how it does. I mean, that'd be something I'd like to play.
Yeah, me too.
Just to try, you know.
Me too. Yeah. Trump doesn't own those, does he?
No, he got rid of his Atlantic City stuff a long time. I think
out.
he like declared like bankruptcy. I think that was one of his many bankruptcies actually.
I'd like to hear his views on this game. Like, because if he was a competitor, it's stupid. Nobody wants to play it. It's dumb.
It's terrible. Who's going to play that? But then if he owned it, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. It's amazing. You can't believe this game.
Yeah.
I got the best minds working on this game.
I got the best shooters. The best shooters.
Yeah, exactly. And finally, Tom, I threw this one in for you. It's roller coasters apparently can be a key element in helping you pass kidney stones.
Oh, nice.
And that's not why I threw it in there for you. The reason I threw it in there for you is because this guy at Michigan State, he was sitting there and he's like, about 300,000 people a year end up in the emergency room with kidney stones. And they've got all these, they're painful. They've got all these crazy treatments. They're expensive. There must be an easier way to pass these stones, right? Well, this guy, David Wartinger, was like, let me see if roller coasters will help pass kidney stones. Because I guess he had some anecdotal evidence from some of his patients that they passed the stones like right after they rode roller coasters. So he went and tested his theory at Big Thunder Mountain Railroad at Walt Disney World. And he had a synthetic model of like a human kidney. And he took the model that was loaded with like a bunch of like kidney stone analogs, and they rode Thunder Mountain like 20 times. And the data showed that sitting in the last few cars, like, how you get whipped around sort of in the last cars, resulted in a 64% chance that the kidney stones would be dislodged.
Wow.
Apparently, only sitting in the front cars, you only have a 16% chance of them getting dislodged. But if you're sitting in the back, you've got a high chance that your kidney stone's going to get dislodged, and then you're going to have fun pissing it out.
Just going to say that you have to pass them.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
That's no fun, from what I'm told.
Oh no. Apparently, too, I luckily have never had to do it, but I know someone who did, and I guess he had to, you have to pee it out, right?
Yeah.
And he had to, they give you, this, it looks almost like a strainer of, like a tea strainer, sort of. Or think of, the thing that people wear that over their face when they do, what is it, with the swords?
Oh, fencing?
Yeah. Fencing, yeah. Think of like that, but it's like a little handheld one, and you have to pee through it, so all the little stones get caught in it, and you have to give the stones to the doctor so they can check them out and make sure they're not whatever.
No.
Yeah.
No, you help me. I'll give you the stones if you could figure out a way for me to get them out without having to pee them out.
Yeah.
That has to be agonizing.
Oh man! Apparently, even a small one is just brutal.
I can't even a stone. Just imagine it. It sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's not good for the men. I've had a catheter before up there, and that's fucking awful. And that's built to be in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they use lubricant and all kinds of stuff like that. I can't imagine a jagged fucking rock coming out.
Do women get those too, or is it just men?
I would imagine. They have kidneys. I would imagine they get them, but it's probably
a little easier to pass.
Probably easier to pass for them.
Yeah, the one bonus they get for their anatomy. Everything else is a pain in the ass.
Everything else sucks.
They get that one.
Yeah.
Well, there's that.
Yeah. So I don't know how much of a transition that is to our topic, but that's all the news I got.
Orphaned kidney stones.
Yeah.
Like a kidney stone, this episode too will be passed once we are finished with our topic. Yeah, I don't even know how to segue into that, so I won't. Well, okay, I'll leave it as a mystery for the audience. Nobody will ever really know if I've had kidney stones or not, whether I speak from experience. Ooh,
nice.
No, well, what kind of motivated this, guys, is actually. The game that I cited as the example, Dragon Quest VII. Like my character lives in a house, and his mom lives there, and his dad is a fisherman, and I've been waiting for the hammer to drop. When's dad gonna die? When's the dragon gonna eat mom? When's somebody gonna turn to stone? Nothing. So far, nothing bad has happened to either of the parents, and that really got me thinking. Though, that most games. Not most, but it happens enough that I consider it a pretty well-worn trope. the hero sets out after a loss, or the hero suffered a loss so long ago that the hero is on his or her own, and basically the hero lacks any human attachment that would prevent the hero from doing heroic stuff, ostensibly. Right? Does it seem like that?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, that's been the hook for years, right? I mean, and no one does it better than Disney. Speaking of, I guess that sort of is a good segue, right? Disney, because of Big Thunder Mountain. But
yeah, oh, there you go, perfect.
Disney is the king of that, right? Any story, you think of any Disney story, right? There's the brother dies, the mother dies, the father dies, Lion King, the dad dies, Bambi, the mother dies, Big Hero 6, the brother dies. Yep. You know, it's like that's their ultimate. No one ever it's like the red shirts. Like, you know, as soon as a Disney movie starts, one of those, if it's not the main character, that family member is dead. Their main family member is going out, and it's just how it is. And they've milked that to death, but they do it superbly, and that just draws you in. It makes you feel sympathetic for the character. It makes you love the character. It makes you want the character to succeed. I don't know.
Is that what it is? It puts the would-be hero like so far behind, you know, the eight ball that you can't help but root for that person because they don't have parents anymore, or they lost a loved one or something like that.
It is the cheapest gimmick, in my opinion, the cheapest gimmick in the book, but it works every fucking time. I love all those movies, and I just can't help but feel that way, even though I know it's happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You still feel that way.
What do you think, Brian?
I have a pretty interesting take on this. So I told everybody I was watching Avatar: The Last Airbender fairly recently, and they deal with this. They kind of bring it up, and then they dismiss it, and then at the end it kind of, you know, goes away or whatever. But this guy is supposed to be he's basically like the perfect Tibetan monk. He masters all of their martial arts, their magics, all that kind of stuff. And there's one point where he has to like unlock his chakras and everything. And one of the things he has to do is like evolve. Like, you can't be earthly if you have to have holy, divine, heavenly powers. You have to raise yourself up. And it's part of a Buddhist idea, but it's also part of a Christian idea. I'm sure it's part of a Jewish idea. Possessions and connections, attachment to Earth prevent you from being like the person you could be. So in our heroes, we want them as elevated as possible. So they eventually have to give up their loved ones, give up their parents, give up their wealth to reach, you know, heroic divinity. This is an easy way of helping them along, like starting them off with nothing.
So yeah, they don't have to disentangle and leave their loved ones to be great. Okay. That's, well, you actually reminded me, that is a pretty well-worn trope.
It's ancient, literally ancient.
Like, yeah, well, speaking of ancient, and speaking of, I was going to say, in the Western world is another place where it's well-worn, but at a certain point, and like, Christians are going to be mad at me. I only know what like little I learned as a kid, but wasn't Jesus like going around like telling people like, "Hey, just tell your wife and kids you got to go," and like, I was just getting these people to just follow him on his like holy mission, like just leave behind your attachments and come with me.
I think the medieval hierarchy was you belong to God, you belong to your king, you belong to your family in that order. If God calls, you don't belong to anyone else.
Okay.
If God's not calling and your king calls, you don't belong to your family.
And the whole Immaculate Conception thing with the whole his parents.
Well, there was that, yeah. Troubled background.
Yeah. Born in a barn, you know, all that.
Single mother.
Yeah, single parent, born in a barn.
I mean, technically he had it. I guess he had a dad, but I don't.
Wasn't
Is,
as good as that.
is his dad mentioned much after like the never? Oh, wow, this is really blasphemous. for
Joseph?
people.
Yeah. He was. He's mentioned a lot after.
Oh, he hangs out. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I have like Sunday school memories from when I was a kid, but that's about all I remember, Cam. So
He took care of his kids.
oh, like the old Chris Rock bit.
No, or Maury, whatever. Either way.
No, I was remember the Chris Rock like comedy show where he's like, I'm tired of people who want to be rewarded for doing what you're supposed to.
Yeah.
I take care of my kids. You're supposed to fucking take care of your kids.
Yeah, exactly. No shit, asshole. Exactly.
I pay my bills. You're supposed to pay your damn bills. But okay, so it's ancient, and I guess there's something to be said for it, because if you think about it, like when you have a family, like what do we call the act of getting married and having a family and becoming stationary and like committing yourself to raising the next generation? There's a word, there's a term, we call it
Settling down.
Yeah, settling down, implying like this is where you stop, and now it's you pass the torch on to the next generation, hopefully.
I mean, I guess it's half full, half empty, right? I mean, just because you settle down doesn't mean you stop moving. It just means you're less bombastic, I guess. You know what I mean? Like you're. I mean, settle, I guess, does have a certain connotation. But like,
Literally.
doesn't mean you're not like moving forward though. Like you're settling down. You're settling. You're not settling. You're settling down. So
yeah, as opposed to moving forward. No, listen. I struggle to rationalize it myself as it's on my near horizon, Cam. So, I want to achieve things. I want to achieve greatness, but I just know that with like family and that kind of thing, if it comes to that, like that requires, if you're not going to be a shitty partner and parent, depending on what your plans are, you have to like it takes some time and attention. You can't be like off doing your own thing all the time.
That's true.
Well, people have always said or often said, you can't serve two masters.
Yeah.
So I mean, heroes can't belong to their culture or their country or whatever if they belong to their wife or children or
that's a good point, Brian. But is that a healthy way of thinking? Like should we have people who are like part-time heroes held up? I go and I like fight crime when I'm not home with my family.
So this is actually why I brought up Avatar. And I'll say the full name, Avatar: The Last Airbender, because I don't want you thinking blue people.
Right.
And massive spoiler alerts, like, sorry, it's like 12 years old. The main character's name is Aang, and he's pretty stereotypically Tibetan monk,
Oh, really? Aang
Yeah.
You sure he's not like a Trappist monk from Europe?
They tell him to maximize your avatar potential. You have to give up all of your worldly attachments. And he's just like, fuck that. I love this girl.
Wow. Okay.
And he never does.
And he still achieves greatness and becomes awesome?
Oh, yeah, obviously. I mean...
Well, I ask that because another member of an austere monastic order who we could mention also refused to give up his love and his worldly attachments, and then he became Darth Vader. So I think that could go either way. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, do you think Anakin should have like basically been punished for failing to not be human as the Jedi demanded?
What was he like punished for not being human, or did he? I think that was more of him like causing his own demise, right, or causing his own downfall
because he had attachments. Like the Jedi are telling you, like all the time, like, you can't have attachments.
Yeah.
Didn't they refuse him was it master title, or they knighted him but didn't call him a Jedi master,
right?
Because he was too attached to
until Palpatine made them
Amidala princess, whatever her real name actually was.
Well, they wouldn't let him in. They didn't want to train him at first because his attachment to his mother was so strong. And then, when Palpatine appointed him as his ambassador to the council, they're like, "Oh yeah, you can hang out, but you're not a master. Like, we decide that."
Yeah.
And yeah, they always had these warnings. Like, he was way too attached to the world, as it were.
Yeah, they never started train. Yeah, they didn't want to train him because he was too old and he was attached to his mother and all that. Yeah.
Which honestly makes me really wonder where they're going with Episode 7 and beyond. Like, is Rey expected to never love and never or have they learned their lesson and have they found a balance now between like?
Oh, you have to watch Rebels.
Oh, is it that good?
Well, it's really relevant too, and that's like a week old, so no spoilers. But they did something that could like change everyone's idea of the Force. Seriously, it's just like, that big.
But it's like super like arbitrary or just like contradictory because I mean Luke was fucking like 25 or whatever, you know what I mean? Like Anakin was like 6 and then like Luke,
they told him too.
Yeah, but then Yoda was like, all right, come on, let's
well, at that point Yoda's like, choosers beggars cannot be. Their like kind of pedantic stance on that had gotten them down to like 3 Jedi, so they were like,
let's relax the rules.
Yeah. Wow. Now you really made me want to watch Rebels. Now I've watched most of the first season, but I'm way behind. So
do you have an XD subscription?
No, it's not part of my cable package, so I have to like wait for them to come out for sale on like Amazon or some shit.
Because all you have to do is log in, and you can watch like on demand every episode of Rebels. It's actually killer.
I might have to just get that package.
You just need to drop by. We'll paint and watch.
Perfect.
What is it on, Brian?
If you Google like Disney XD streaming, their website's really stupid. It is literally like stream Disney XD or something like that.com. Like, it's not intuitive, but yeah, it's like Disney XD's official site for like their own streaming service.
But it's on it's on the Disney Channel or whatever they're calling it.
No, you have to. There's like an account that you log into, but you have to provide, cable bill information.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's their cable channel, and to watch the streaming, you have to subscribe to it. And I don't, because I don't want to subscribe to like 5 ESPN channels to get that tier of service.
Right. No, because I was wondering if I could just watch it on. I do still have cable, so I was wondering if I could just get it on demand on my cable, like box or whatever.
Yeah,
possibly.
If you have the channel and they do the on demand, yeah. Not all channels.
They actually, dude, they're so good. One of the reasons I need to watch the Clone Wars is because they're handling this so well. They released, it's like 5-10 minutes long, like a catch up episode. So it's everything you need to know from like seasons 1 to 2.
Oh, nice.
And then the new season started like right away. And God, they've shown it like 3-4 times each day since then.
Oh man, I want to watch it.
It'd be really easy to catch up.
All right, I'll make a point of catching up if you definitely commit to Clone Wars, because I actually have wanted you to watch that for a while. And Kev, have you watched that in its entirety?
I started, but it was so bad. The first season.
Maybe do it the way Brian's doing it. I mean, it's a slog at first because like some of the stuff is just so like.
Because I have Netflix and I started watching it, and I was like, "Fuck, man, this sucks."
If she calls Anakin Sky Guy one more fucking time, and he calls her Snips.
I'll have to send you the order. It's really supposed to. Everybody says it's like just the best way to watch it. Like, it makes everything make more sense. It's a lot easier to get into it.
Cool.
Yeah. Maybe that's the way to go. But I'm glad you guys are watching that, and it's a cautionary tale for forcing the hero to have no attachments, as we see Anakin make his way to the dark side.
Well, let me ask you, Tom. So you sort of thought of this whole topic with the game that you're playing. So does the fact that your hero in your game have like a healthy home life, does it make you like less into him? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you like screw this guy? Like, I mean, who cares or what?
No, it doesn't. Like, I think if I was 16, it might. But for some reason, now that I'm an adult, like I don't like it when when heroes don't have a family. Like it doesn't make it. I don't need like a pregame that talks about this guy's upbringing and his life in the village. But like this notion that you have to be severed from any love or attachment to achieve,
right,
doesn't sit right with me anymore. I guess. Go ahead.
No. So go ahead. No, go ahead.
It just doesn't. It doesn't resonate with me. I think at one time it did, but like it's not. I don't think it's healthy, and I don't think it's an archetype we should necessarily promote for, going forward in human history. Like the hero should be a part of a community and have people that care about her or him, and vice versa. And I think you may not have a Superman, but you might have like a Justice League who also have families.
Right. Yeah. So that was actually the example I was going to make. So you're not into the Wolverine, Magneto,
Batman, Superman
anymore. Now you're more into the, I can have a family, like.
I mean,
type thing.
I'm into it. Like I still like that stuff. Don't get me wrong. Like I still love Batman. I still like Wolverine. Don't get me wrong, but because I guess those characters are just one dimensional. Like they show up, they beat up bad guys. You don't really get into their like. Wolverine has a troubled past. That's why he can't be with anybody. And, Batman lost his parents and he's too busy fighting crime. But, I mean, it's a shitty end for these characters if they don't love somebody or have somebody that gives a shit about them, isn't it?
I think Batman's a great example because along the lines of what I was saying before, I mean, he is exactly someone who belongs to Gotham. And you're right, being a hero can suck. But is he good for the city? Is he good for hundreds of thousands of people who live there? Yeah. It's greater than him.
And he has Alfred. Then he has Dick. And then he has, Selena, I guess, to some extent.
You're right. I mean, and depending on what incarnation Batman is in and what organization he happens to be part of, he has his Justice League pals who are like his family.
Yeah.
I think I kind of like the ensemble shows for that reason too, because there's like camaraderie and I like the Lonely Crusader to a point, but it's just it has kind of it's taken on like a depressing air for me lately.
Yeah, and
I don't know. Something about the idea of a 16-year-old going and like fighting dragons and goblins without any parents is horrifying.
Well, but here's the thing that like I mean like not like you obviously have to suspend disbelief for all this shit, but like I mean. I feel like it's just a huge liability, though, to have like that good family because it's like, oh, so you're battling like the worst like evil villain of all time. Well, all he's got to do is send one or two of his minions to your mom's house, and you're fucked. Like, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean?
Well, see now, that's the problem. You have the one-dimensional villain. The villain, we haven't even talked about the villain. The villain has no family or killed his family or doesn't care. So like the villain has nothing to lose. Like, oh, if you go after my parents, I'll go after yours, villain. And he'll be like, I already killed my parents. Like. Right. When you've got the like elemental evil bad guy who like whose occupation is being evil, a family's a liability. If you had a little more nuanced character where, if Batman's like if Lex Luthor is like, all right, Superman, I'm going to kill so-and-so who I think you love. And Superman's like, well, I'll go vaporize your aunt then. I don't know. Yeah. That makes that's a checkmate on that, and then they're not going after each other's family, right?
Well, Lex Luthor would never be able to do that because Clark Kent wears glasses.
That's true. But I mean, if he happened to find Superman, one of his satellites detected Superman making time with someone, even in uniform,
Lois.
Right.
Which hasn't like Lex known that he was like Clark was Superman for like years and years and years now. Like,
I think it depends on the storyline, doesn't it?
What universe you're in, or what storyline?
Well, I think the latest thing is Clark changed his name to Smith, and no one knows. So,
oh god,
we got a new reporter by the name of Clark Smith. Say, you look like somebody else that used to work here. Can't imagine who. Me neither.
All Smiths look alike.
And here's the other thing: doesn't anyone ever notice that like he doesn't like what's the whole aging thing? Like, does he stop aging? Like, Like did he like what's I've never like had a clear understanding of obviously he was a baby and then obviously he grew up to a certain like age, but then does he stop aging?
I think that also depends, Cam, because did you ever see Kingdom? Did you ever read Kingdom Come? I think it's called Kingdom Come. That little
No.
kind of badass like mini series book they did. He has like gray hair there. He's like older. All of them are older in that. But I've often wondered about that myself because so he grew like apparently on a normal time scale, but then being nourished by our sun, like I guess his cells like repair themselves, so he doesn't age, or he does, or I don't know.
Yeah, they never really like explained that. I mean, like Wolverine, they've explained. Well, I mean, obviously different universes, but like Wolverine, like he ages, but it's like just at a much lower rate. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whereas like Superman, they're never really like clear on, well, is he going to live forever? Is he going to get older? Like what's...
Yeah, they don't imply that he has a healing factor like Wolverine, but then again, he's invulnerable, but then again, he recovers. So he must have something similar.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm really, really worried. Like when they talk about an older version of a character, like ever since the jaundiced fucking like gun-wielding Batman from Batman Beyond. Remember that, Brian? I think you and I watched like the pilot episode of Batman Beyond, and like when Bruce Wayne was all like old and decrepit, with like he literally had yellow jaundiced eyes. We were just like, nope.
Yeah, I like the idea of an older Batman. Like I like the idea of him being
but not a cane waving like I'll shoot you like old.
At least he's human though. I mean, Superman's a much bigger issue.
I forget. Oh God, I got to go back to my comics, but I forget. There was a storyline where he was old, right? And then he had some sort of way that he got into, like he took the body over of some other younger guy. Does that ring any bells to you, Brian?
No.
Superman did?
No, Batman.
Oh, Batman did.
Yeah, Batman was older, and he was trying to defeat... I forget who the fuck it was, man. I got to go back and look through my comics, but I remember distinctly like him like in the body of like a younger person because he was too old.
Oh, like he coercively took it, or it was like an agreement?
No, it was like agreed. Like it was like somebody let him do it.
Oh, okay. That might be interesting. You have to
go back and find that.
Yeah, send me a reference to that. As long as he doesn't just pass the baton off to I didn't like seeing him in that decrepit state, but then again, he then knew that he had compromised his principles by pulling a gun. This is back when Batman didn't shoot people. Did you ever see? Do you know the episode we're talking about? It's the first episode of Batman Beyond.
Yeah. No, I know you're talking about.
He pulls a gun. He's like, I can't do this anymore. You know, I've done the ultimate and actually pulled a gun on somebody. So that's the end of my career. Whereas now he has a car with machine guns and he just indiscriminately like blows up trucks.
Don't forget the branding.
And the branding people and sentencing them to the death in jail. Yeah. Basically, if Batman brands
that's bad for people who murder people. I mean,
like he's basically setting you up for like endless like prison rape and murder. I'm guessing with that brand. Wait, am I allowed to say prison rape? I think that might have been a bridge too far. Your fellow inmates will not be kind to you if you have the brand. Yeah, we could get into another discussion of that.
Yeah.
Of that movie, but we won't. Anyway, yeah, I guess I don't know. Do you guys think that we might see more attached heroes going forward? Or do you think I'm just an anomaly? Like people really want the detached, like one-dimensional, like I belong to the world or the city or the people.
I think it's such an ancient archetype. And I think the hostage situation is so likely. Like, I mean, it'd almost be more difficult to write a believable, like, family man and keep his kids and mom and wife and dog alive through the series. Like, I don't see too many people going there. You know, fringe stories, sure, but, like, the big stuff, they're not exactly known for their overreaching, difficult arcs.
Well, just put a mask on or glasses, though. Nobody knows who you are. Your family's safe.
Yeah, Lex always figures it out.
Yeah, okay. True. Like I said, but in this world, Lex also has a family. You can go after them. So it goes both ways. And then again, we're talking about like comics and fiction, not the real world. So like in the real world, like Obama has a family, Hillary Clinton has a family.
But they are under like, I mean, isn't it like 3 feet of bulletproof glass for the Obamas?
Yeah, they're under guard all the time, and yeah, there's elaborate security measures taken. Good point.
Not exactly like too nerdy, but I'll take the opportunity to mention it. Did you guys ever see Red with Bruce Willis?
Yeah.
I did not.
There is a part where the bad good guys, the good guys who are being manipulated into doing bad things, have Bruce Willis's girlfriend, and he actually like calls them, and they do that whole like keep him on the line, we have to find out where he's calling from, and he's calling from the guy's house.
Oh, whoa, okay.
And he's just like, it's a terrible, horrible feeling knowing you can lose everything you love at a second's notice, isn't it? And the guy's immediately just like, all right, you got me. I'll turn her over. Where do you want her?
Wow. Yeah, see? So the good guy can checkmate the bad guy when it comes to like going after family. It is possible in a more nuanced story, to Brian's point, right?
Yeah, maybe, because that was a good guy who had like bad information and was being manipulated, and he wasn't a Lex Luthor, you know, like he wasn't like a madman.
Diabolical, sure, okay. All right, so don't hold my breath, basically, for the ancient archetype of the lone wandering hero to go away is the bottom line.
Yeah, I doubt it.
I'll probably get over it in time. I'll like read a Wolverine comic or something and be like, yeah, he's a loner.
I mean,
man.
I'm sure if you look for, you know, more nuanced literature, movies, you can find it. You know, maybe it's just not the things that do the best.
Virtually, yeah, because that archetype's there for a reason. People like the idea of the fully committed hero who is just committed to heroism, not settling down.
People who, you know, belong to small communities don't enter the mythos, you know? I mean, you have to belong to everybody to get there.
Man. So much for me being a hero, I guess. Oh, man. Okay. Well, I think that my dreams of heroism thus dashed. I am satisfied that we have given this this topic a heroic treatment. Anything you guys want to add? Any other points, thoughts, concerns, questions, jokes?
Did you find the episode, Cam?
I'm just still searching for it, but I'll find it. I'll report back next week.
All right.
Oh, the one thing I want to say, did you guys see that Final Fantasy movie, like CGI movie that's coming out?
Oh, the new one? No.
The one based on the new game, right?
Yeah, it's like Lena, the Cersei from Game of Thrones, Sean Bean, Aaron Paul, all those guys are like the voices in the movie.
Is it the one? I think it's the one based on, because they apparently have done an animated miniseries, and they're doing a movie both based on this new game.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 15, I think it is. Yeah, September 30th. It's actually supposed to come out like the next day or two.
Is it Kingsglaive?
Kingsglaive Final Fantasy 15.
Wait, that's getting a theatrical release?
Yeah, they have a full feature-length CGI film with Aaron Paul, Lena Headey, and Sean Bean as voiceover character.
Oh my god. Now I got to know if this is dependent at all on the Brotherhood animated series or not, because I need to be in the know. Nice. Yeah. Is that playing at a theater near us?
I think it's straight to video.
No way, man. It's got to be in theaters.
And Fathom Entertainment was the only one doing anime anything, and they learned their lesson. So,
after Attack on Titan.
Oh, did that fail? Did that?
Well, the first one was terrible, and I don't think the second one did. The second one ever even like get released?
No, I don't think
It
so.
was supposed to be like 3 of them, I think, right? And then
Wait, they
I
did.
mean, I
that?
wouldn't even blame just that. Like, I don't think they've ever made money on any of their anime releases. I mean, they didn't make money on Death Note. A shitty version of Titan could make it.
Death Note was badass. The live action, like I didn't think the live action thing would do well, but it was actually pretty good.
I really like Fathom events. Like I hope they do well. I like that they play like, like I think over Christmas, my companion and I went and saw It's a Wonderful Life, They do like Doctor Who stuff. They'll show like little mini-series Doctor Who, like 2 episodes back to back as a movie, like things like that. I like them.
I got really lucky. Like, just over the summer, I guess it was Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory's anniversary. And they did a Fathom event of the original movie on the big screen, and I got to see that. And then, like, 2 weeks later, Gene Wilder was dead.
Oh my
man.
god!
So, like, that was great timing. Not him dying, but
not for
sorry.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Gene. Poor Gene.
For the record, and poor Gene, I agree. So, sorry, Gene Wilder, you touched a lot of lives, but we have to talk about Final Fantasy right now, Gene. Forgive me. There is the Kingsglaive movie, which apparently could be watched right now online for $15, which I'm not. That's kind of an investment.
Yeah.
But 2 tickets.
Yeah.
Less than 2 tickets. Shit.
Might have to make that happen. Evidently, there is also a Final Fantasy 15 anime called Brotherhood Final Fantasy 15. I'm not sure how the two relate necessarily, but that actually looks like it ran from March until the 17th of this month, 2016. So, man, we should do a Final Fantasy 15 episode. We should watch this shit and then get back and be like, yeah, we're into Final Fantasy 15, or, oh my god, this is going to suck. I don't know if you guys want to commit to that or not, though.
The first time they say Marquis, I'm out.
Okay, what? This is unrelated, but one last story, Brian. At PAX, where I actually attended a Final Fantasy 15 panel, and that's when I heard about Brotherhood and Kingsglaive for the first time, actually. I also played the remaster of Final Fantasy 12 for the PS4, which I will probably end up getting and playing because I never played that game, and it looks great. But damn, if like in that opening scene, this chick kept saying Marquis over and over and over. I'm like, stop! No, it's not Marquis. It's not. That's not like an alternative pronunciation, is it?
If you're an idiot.
They keep saying Marquis. They won't stop saying Marquis.
I could not finish that game. It is the very first Final Fantasy 11 had no ending, but that I did not finish.
Well, I'll probably finish it. I'll meet the Marquis for myself. Anyway, anything else you guys want to add on, or should we bring this to a conclusion?
I think that's it.
All right. You heard it here first, folks. The guys have committed to watching anime and a CG movie on Final Fantasy 15 all by next week. or not. We might do an episode on something completely unrelated.
Yes.
But that said, I think I will remind our listeners that you will fall out of favor with the Marquis and fail to achieve heroic status if you do not listen to us weekly. We are the keys to heroic. I can't say heroic status again. I like to think of our episodes as a training manual for heroes, put it that way. And do your studying every week by checking us out on iTunes, Google Play Music, and, of course, Stitcher, where we say Marquis a lot.
Add us to your Google Circle, like us on Twitter and Instagram, and join the Nerdstravaganza Factaboke group.
Quest on over to nerdstravaganza@gmail.com and check out our amazing website. Type Nerdstravaganza into the handy dandy search bar on YouTube and check out this and all of our other videos. And head on over to whatever email server you want to use and send us an email at nerdstravaganza@gmail.com. and let us know who your favorite archetype hero is.
And with all of the housekeeping out of the way, Brian, take us away in heroic fashion.
Not a clue. I am too attached to my phone catching up on news to
what does the airbender
rise
do?
to this challenge.
What does the Avatar airbender do? What was that?
Yeah.
Brian's like channeling chakras or something. Okay. Goodbye, everybody. See you next week.
Peace.